information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Saturday, we went to Silver Springs State Park, and we practiced our musical instruments in the park. It's something we like doing. And it's kind of fun because you get to see the tourists, and they walk around, and they're usually spending quality time with each other. And the other day, on Saturday, we saw two families, and the dads in both of those families were glued to their phones.
Yes,
I mean, they were glued to their cell phones, and it was like, oh man, you're missing this opportunity to be with your families. Not that we really said that to them, but we thought it. And of course, we don't know their personal situations. But it is something that we have to think about. Just put something aside. Make some room for the things in your life that are important. That you're never going to get another chance like that. And so that might be part of what we're going to talk about right now with Lumbie Mlambo. She's on the phone, and my goodness, listen to this. She can speak several languages. English is one of them, thank goodness. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to say. Yes. Zulu, I don't even know how to pronounce this one, Ndebel or something, and French, and she's the editor of Equanimity magazine. She's going to talk to us about success and how it depends, how success depends on balancing your life. She's a business analyst, a computer software engineer, and it says here in 2001 she had a stroke and it left her partially paralyzed. Lumbie Mlambo, what an honor to have you on our show. Good morning, Lumbie.
Good morning, Larry. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, where are you right now? Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from downtown Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow. So you can speak Texan. You can speak the Texas language?
I wish I could. I try.
What is the other language? Ndebel? What is that?
The other one that you couldn't pronounce is called Ndebele.
Oh, okay. And is that an African language?
It is. It's actually a slang part of Zulu.
Oh,
the main language is Zulu, and the slang is Ndebele.
Oh, really? Wow. How is it? How do you know all those languages? Did you study them or live in those places?
I lived in those places, and I just happened to learn them from people. Just talking to people, I just became fluent at them, and I just enjoyed.
Wow.
Different languages.
Well, thank you for being on the show, and I'm glad you can speak English so we can talk to you. So on Saturday we saw we live in Ocala, Florida. And it's a tourist area, and it's a beautiful park where you can. It's not like Disney. It's very relaxed. It's more like it's a park, and people will go there to see the water and the birds and the plants and everything. And we saw these guys with their phones stuck to their heads, and it was the classic moment where you say, "Gosh, they got to learn to to put that away for a little bit." So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
I really think you're absolutely right. There's times sometimes in life when you have to say, this is time for this with my family, and put your phones away and put your gadgets away. Because they're distractions sometimes. I know that they are meant to be good for people. They're meant to cut down on time and everything so we can communicate. But sometimes, we really have to be careful how we use these devices because we can't have a balanced life that way. The whole idea is for us to create a balanced life, a life around those that we interact with, families, friends, and the community as well. Because by doing that, we're able to work on the things that allow us to move ahead and actually make a difference in life.
When you had your stroke, was that a wake-up call for you?
Oh, yes. That was a big wake-up call. Because before, I would say before, I really didn't think I could do much in the community. Because I kind of felt that, to do a lot in the community, you have to have a lot of money. I didn't realize that just me sharing my story with others makes a difference. Because when you share your story, it makes their story seem so small. Because it allows them to say, I can do this thing. What is holding me back?
Oh, wow.
To relate to each other.
Yeah.
So when I had a stroke, I realized that, the importance of having the basic necessities, especially in the hospitals. I was in Africa when I had a stroke. I didn't have any way to get a doctor to see me. They didn't have anything to help me with. So they sent me back to America. They said I had a 50-50 chance of survival. And when I got here, I was surprised at how many people were at my bedside. People I didn't even know. People from the community, volunteers. That's when I said, you know what? My life seems so good right now. Even though I couldn't speak, walk, talk, whatever. I mean, I felt like I could really fight and recover. And I did. Because I had those people cheering me on, telling me that I could do this thing. And that's when my involvement in the community really started at that time.
Wow, what an inspiring story. So was their love, was their concern for you something you didn't expect? That's I'm trying to put this all together. And how did that manifest itself in a decision to balance your life?
Right, because in Africa where I was, the hospital didn't have, a way to even check to see what was wrong with me when I had a stroke. They didn't have the medications. They didn't have nothing. I felt like very helpless. I couldn't do nothing. I was just, if I stayed there, I would have died, actually.
How are you doing now?
The doctor, I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine.
Did the paralysis go away?
It did go away, except that, writing is an issue. I'm still kind of working through that. It's one of the lessons that I have to, live with and just kind of practice until I get it to work right. But when I came back, though, I realized that, it's important for people to have basic necessities, especially people who are underprivileged, to have just the basic necessities to survive. Because if I didn't come here, I would have actually died, at that hospital. But I like the fact that I've since then even started a charity that fights poverty, that helps people realize that, anybody can help. You don't have to have money. Just sharing your story is good enough for somebody to realize that they have a potential. I
love that. We always celebrate when like a rich person will give $100,000 check to a charity. We always celebrate that person and we say, oh, isn't that great? But meanwhile, there's 100,000 people that gave a dollar.
Yeah.
And that's another $100,000 that goes uncelebrated. But if it's, there's a story in the Bible about some lady who, and I'm not good at telling Bible stories, but she gives whatever she could, and Jesus said, she gave more than you guys.
That's right.
Whoever she was,
Absolutely.
She was very poor.
Absolutely, that's correct. Yeah, she was very poor, but she gave everything. So sometimes it's really not what you have financially, it's who you are as a person, how you can impact the community and impact someone's life.
That's a really great message. I love that message.
Right.
So do you have a way to take this farther? Like, can we go to a website? Do you have a book? How can we let the listeners know to learn more about it?
I do, yes. Actually, maybe the easiest way, because I know that the name of the magazine itself, Equanimity, is hard for people to pronounce or even spell, but it really means balance. It's the same thing as balance. So, but if you just Google, for example, Equanimity Magazine, or Google Equanimity Awards Benefit Gala, we have a gala coming up in October where you actually get to see us in action, what we do in the communities.
Oh, excellent.
Right. So if you Google that, then you're going to see how you can also become involved and how maybe you can learn something.
Okay, Lumbie, Robin actually made it very easy for our listeners. So rather than trying to figure out how to spell equanimity, first of all, it's spelled just like it sounds, but to make it even easier than that, just go to WOCA.com, look at the guest list. You'll see Lumbie's name at 920, and equanimitymag.com is right there. Thank you, Lumbie. That was a wonderful interview. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you so much for having me here.
Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. President Obama in Ethiopia for talks on counterterrorism, human rights, and free speech.
We had a frank discussion in a global economy that's increasingly driven by technology and the internet. Continued growth in Ethiopia depends on the free flow of information and open exchanges of ideas.
Both sides also discussing the ongoing crisis in neighboring South Sudan. Owners of defective Dodge Ram pickup trucks now have a choice, another recall or a buyback.
There have been so many recalls of the Ram pickups with defective steering that under an agreement with the feds, Fiat Chrysler is offering owners a choice. They can take back their trucks to the dealer for another fix or sell them back to the company. About 500,000 pickups are affected.
Fox Radio's Gary Baumgarten. Bobby Christina Brown has died. The daughter of the late Whitney Houston died yesterday.